In the TOTECS Platform 16.1 release, we've added a number of new capabilities to allow lists of users to receive emails notifying them when products are now back in stock, based on products that they are actively watching within their favorites list. This allows a customer to receive alerts when products are back in stock, propelling existing users to return to a website, add these products to basket that can lead to additional sales. This functionality uses many pieces of the existing capabilities within the TOTECS platform, allowing users to add products to their favorites list using the favorites list combined with the e-marketing features of the platform to allow the emails to be sent out and the users to determine which products they want to listen for stock updates with. Once the products are on each user's favorites list, the TOTECS platform can detect when a product becomes back in stock based on a new field that has been added to the platform called the stock available since date. And this date can be either manually set by administrators or it can be automatically set when product imports occur from the connector software or third-party software that is pushing up product stock data into the TOTECS platform. Once that stock information is available there, then the platform can detect when product has now become available since a given time frame, and then for all that are allowed to receive email notifications for products on their favorites list, emails can be sent out notifying each individual user of the particular products in their favorites lists that have stock quantities available for purchase for them. And each of these emails that get sent out to each user is individualized so that each have their own custom list of products. That means the TOTECS platform can then support sending out thousands of these emails containing lists of products now back in stock that are tailored to each individual user. That is a very powerful feature to trigger users to knowing that there is now products available, and then they can go back to the websites, add those products to basket, and make the purchases. To learn how we can set up one of these emails, there is a number of steps we need to do from the administration side. If we go to a TOTECS project and log in as an administrator user, if we first go into the marketing menu and click on user subscription categories, we have to create a new user subscription category that allows users to sign up and subscribe to receiving back in stock notifications. And that allows them to opt in and as well as opt out of receiving these notifications in the future, ensuring that they've got the ability to not get spammed all the time. So with that created, we also then need to go into our marketing user groups. So we need to create a marketing user group that allows us to specifically target users who want to receive back in stock notifications and where product is back in stock for a given category for a certain time range. Let's create a group called users with favorite products in stock. So once we've created that group, then if we go into the user group rules, we need to create a new user group rule. If we choose the marketing rule category, and then there is a new rule here that we have added called select active users assigned to a subscription category equal to a certain name with the favorite products back in stock in the last number of hours. So here is where we need to specify the name of that category. So we call it products back in stock notifications, and here's how we need to specify which products should they get notifications for. So we want to target it only products that become back in stock for a given amount of time. We don't want them to receive alerts necessarily from a year ago when a product was back in stock a year ago. We need to limit down our range. If we were sending out these notifications once every 24 hours, it makes sense to have this rule set to a number that is also 24 hours. So when the email gets sent out, it's going to look back through the last 24 hours and find users who have products in their favorites lists, and those products have been available in stock within the time frame here. So if we were sending these emails once a week, you may want to make this number a lot bigger. So a week would be 168 hours, but also note that gives the possibility of there being many more products that they may be alerted to. So for now, we'll stick to 24 hours, such as if we're going to send out these alerts once every day. And it's up to you to work out what is the best time frame for your business. Click the save button. That rule has now been set for that user group. Now the next part is to go into the marketing menu and go to the marketing settings. There is a new setting that has been added to this section called product back in stock notification subscription category. The platform needs to know specifically which of those categories that users are subscribing to when they want to receive back in stock notifications. And the reason for this is we then can create settings that the users control subscribing or unsubscribing for these stock notifications. So we click the save button there. Now after that setting has been set, we can now go into our Emedia messaging. And we need to create a new type of Emedia email, so that way this is the email that's going to be used to send out to all of our users of these back in stock notifications. So you've got a choice whether or not to select an existing email because you like all the settings of that particular configuration, or you can create a new one. So I'll show you how to create a new one. So we'll click on the add button. So we'll give it a name so that allows us to identify this particular Emedia and what its purpose is. And we then put in our subject, which is the subject that users are going to see for the emails that land in their inbox. When we're sending out these emails, we've got a choice whether or not to create only a rich text email. And rich text means the email supports embedding images, colors, and styling and formatting, just like how we have here. Or if it's only plain text, then no images and no formatting and styling can be put into it. For these particular emails, you're going to want to have rich text only emails. Since the plain text emails don't support the actual listing of the products, they only support putting static content that doesn't change for each user. Now that may be something you want, just to alert them saying that there are products back in stock, and then they have to log into the website. But if you want the full-blown list of products in the email, then you're going to have to set this as a rich text-based email. You can have both options. You can have a simple message as a plain text and a rich text message. It's up to you. So once we've done that, we need to then choose a HTML message template. Now you may wish to contact TOTECS about generating or crafting an email template. It's basically you're choosing a template that determines the layout and styling of the overall content of the email. So I know that come out of the box, we can use several of these different templates will be good for the job, but you may want to highly customize that template after you've set this up. And that's when you would engage the TOTECS team to do that. We also need to choose a page on our Content Manager website. When they click on the link at the bottom of the email, it takes them to the page that allows them to unsubscribe. Such as an example that we have set up here. In these pages, they can choose to subscribe from everything or only from the specific categories that were assigned to the particular email we were sending out. You may have different unsubscribe pages, so that's where you'll be able to choose them from this list. With that done, we can now click the Create Web Page button to create a new Content Manager web page, which is linked to this Emedia email, and then we can go in and modify the contents of that web page. This particular template is very simple. It's a blank canvas to start embedding content within. And if you want to increase the chance of this not being pushed across into spam boxes, then you would also want to set the DKIM information we've discussed in another video, which is in the description of this video on how to set up the DKIM information. To speed up this process, I've gone through each of the different areas in the email's Content Manager web page and pasted in the text content, showing all the different labels we had set up, as well as putting in the images and the logos. There is a new area that we need to embed within this email Content Manager web page that allows the list of products to dynamically appear in the email. To do that, we click on the plus button in the container that is most appropriate for that list to display in. There is a new area category called search that we can click on, and this new area called email product search listing. So this contains two web page area formats that we need to select. Now I've already pre-created these two web page area formats, and to give you a guide on how they have previously been created, if we click on the websites menu button and click on the websites menu item, within the web area formats libraries, under the search, there is that new area displayed called email product search listing. And it has two formats that can display in this area. We have the search listing wrapper and the search listing record. So the wrapper displays around each of the product records. Then the search listing record format displays a single product record. So if we look in these examples, I've just got a little bit of HTML code here that says for the wrapping format, I'm going to embed this list within a table, since tables is a common email element that allows to display consistently across many different email clients. And there's one area format hook that we've got available, and this will contain a collection of product records to display in the listing, and then that collection is made up of the individual products records that have each of their records formatted using the email product search listing record format. So this format is the main content of each product that we want to embed. Naturally, this is a table row, and then we have some elements that we want to embed. We've got a whole list of different product information we can put into these emails. We can put in the product's description, different description fields. We can put in barcodes, brands, classes, code, depth, different sizes of the product images themselves. We can put in meta information. We can put in stock information if we wanted to show the exact stock quantity that a product has, or we may only want to show the stock level. Then we can set the level. So in our example here, I just chose to show the actual stock quantity available as well as the stock level, but we could hide or show these different elements as we need to. We can choose here which information we want to add or hide as well. Note that there is no ability to show the pricing for the user at the point in time when this video was created. So we put all of our styling information for the record. We have the two formats. Then that allows us to choose those formats when they've been created to create this new area. Once the area is created, there's a few settings that we have available here. So the area is going to show a list of products that are favorites for each user and that are back in stock. So once again, we have to set how many hours back should we check for products that have been in stock since. So if our user group rule said that we were going to look for the last 24 hours, this setting here should also match to reflect that. So it's good to match those numbers up. And now we have a choice of how many records we want to display in this area. So note that there is a maximum of 50 products we can list in the email. Any more than that makes it hard work for when sending each email out to generate those lists, because they could be quite large, as well as for the recipient receiving the notifications. It takes effort to scroll down more than 50 products. We have a limit, but then we can, in the email, we can also embed links to tell them if they want to view the full list of products, they can then go to the website to log in and find their products. So we'll keep this at 20 for now. We've got a choice on how we want to sort the products that appear in the email. So we could use the default sorting, which is the global setting that controls sorting within the project, or we could customize it specifically for this area. So if we wanted to specifically know that products are going to be sorted by name, then we can choose that field, or we can choose one of the different levels, such as we might want to order the products by which products are most in stock versus the products that are least in stock. Then we can use the stock field instead. So I'm just going to order it by name. You can choose that to be then which direction the sorting occurs, either ascending or descending. Now, if we had embedded a product link or the product detail link into the formats, then we can choose where that particular link should take the user to view more details of the product. So if we had a specific product detail page, then we can choose for one of those pages, or we could rely upon what is the default product detail web page set up for a content managed website. So that typically would be the best option. You may have a specific product detail page laid out just for these emails where you may want to take the user to in that instance. Once we've configured those settings, we save that area. Make sure that we've got an unsubscribe area in this content managed web page. The email message content is now configured. So back within our Emedia messaging for our Emedia item, we now need to set the users that we want to receive back in stock notifications. So we would choose our products back in stock notification marketing category that we had previously created, and we would choose that user group that we had with the users with favorite products in stock, and click the save button to save those users. Now typically no users are going to be assigned to the marketing category as yet. So we now got to assign the users to our new marketing category. There's several ways to do this. Within the users menu, if we go to the search users, if we want to find a specific user, so I got a user here called retail, click on their login ID. Within the user details page, you'll see that the products back in stock notifications category is unselected for that particular user. That would have to be turned on for that user to receive these notifications, as to would they have to be an active user, and they would have to elect to allow receive e-marketing. So they may have already turned that off, or they may have unsubscribed themselves from these other categories. So you as an admin would not be allowed to turn them back on. They would have to do that themselves. But since this is a new category, then there's no reason why we couldn't turn that on. But to note that if they start receiving these email notifications out of the blue, that might seem a little weird and it may seem like spam. You may want users to sign up themselves to receive these kind of notifications, as opposed to automatically receiving them and having to opt out. Back in a Content Manager website, if a user was logged in, if they went to a Content Manager web page that contained a user details favorite order area, we have the ability to embed a new setting into this area that allows them to choose whether or not they want to see these product back in stock notifications. So in this example, I've given that a label such as receive back in stock alerts. If that was set by no by default, because they wouldn't be subscribed to that marketing category, they would have, if they set the value to yes and save that button, in effect that would be turning on this product back in stock notifications setting. This setting in effect allows the user to subscribe to a specific marketing category that is controlled within our marketing settings. So we could set up this area to be front and center on our homepage, for example, and only have this particular setting. So, or we could have it on product detail pages or under product search listings, so that way that they could opt in, or we could even have pop-ups that allow them to then turn this setting to yes to allow them to see these stock email notifications. Now, to set this up within our Content Manager website that has the page that we have created, under the web area format libraries, under the user account management, there is a user details favorite orders area. Under the user detail format, there is a new hook that has been added here called user receive product back in stock product notify select, that allows that drop down to be embedded into the user detail form here. And note that if in the marketing settings, this product back in stock notification subscription category is not set, when the user sees this form, that format hook would not display the select because the system doesn't know which user subscription category to assign the user to. If that is the case, you have to make sure that this product back in stock notification subscription category setting is set to the correct user subscription category. Then that hook will be able to display a select drop down. Those are two different ways in which users can be assigned to a subscription category that denotes that they want to receive back in stock alerts. Now, the third option is within the data menu in the data imports. We can set up a user's text file data import. One of the fields there is where you can specify the marketing category you want the users to be subscribed to. So if you wanted to, you could export all the users from the search users interface. That will create a spreadsheet file, the mandatory columns, which is the login column and the account column, as well as the marketing category column with a pipe character and then the name, and then it has the value Y assigned to that column for all the users who should be automatically assigned to the receive product stock notifications marketing category. That is a bulk way to set users to be assigned to the correct category to allow to receive these notifications. With that now all in effect, the last part we need to do is the products themselves have to be denoting that they are back in stock. Within the inventory menu, if we go into the product editor and we load up a product, we now have this stock available since date field. Now, if a product is a web product, that means it was just created through the administration center or through a text file data import, then there is the ability to set the date when this product is back in stock. Now, naturally, if you're managing your stock within an external ERP or business system, it wouldn't make sense to have to set this field manually for every product in stock. So then there are the two ways in which this field can be populated. There is the manual way by using, once again, a products text file spreadsheet data import. It looks like this, where we've got our product code, we've got the dates that those products are available since, and we've got the stock quantity, which is optional. But once again, you have to manually manage a spreadsheet file, but then that can be imported, and then that can also update the product stock available since dates. But if you're managing hundreds, if not thousands of products, then that also would be a lot of hard manual labor. So the other aspect we added within the connector imports for the products data import, when products are imported into the platform from an external system, such as in bulk in thousands or tens of thousands of products, the data import will automatically populate this field when it detects that the stock amount being imported is greater than the stock none level. and previously the stock level was less than or equal to the stock none level. If the stock level was -5, that says the product is out of stock because -5 is less than the stock none level of 0. So then when the next time the product's connector data import runs, it will determine if the new stock quantity is now 10, then 10 is greater than the stock none level of 0, so that says that the product is now back in stock, and because of that, then it will automatically set the stock available since date at the date that that data import was run. So if that was run today is the 10th, then it would update that field to the 10th. So that's a way that the system can automatically set all the stock available since dates. As long as the stock quantity is correct and the stock none level is accurate, then this will be enough to be able to determine when a product is now back in stock or the last time it became available. Product data imports may need to be run on a very regular basis if you're sending out these alerts very frequent. But they may need to be run, say, if we're sending out these alerts every 24 hours, you may want to run these stock updates or these stock data imports that update in stock quantities every once a day at least. But you may want to increase that number to be significantly shorter if you're wanting your users to always see a far more accurate level or quantity. Now that we have our user subscription category that denotes that they want to receive stock notifications, we've set up our user group rules, we've now got our stock available dates set against our products, we've set our message, we are now ready to send out back in stock notifications. To do that, we click on the send button. So we click on the view users button. It will now calculate the users that they want to receive back in stock notifications for, and that there are products that exist. In my example here, I've only got one particular user, but you could have tens, hundreds, or thousands of users, and they'll be all listed here. Now we can click on the rich text message button to view how that email would look like specifically for that user. So we would be able to see their particular products that they have in their favorites list that they should receive back in stock notifications about. So this is how we can verify that the correct products are displaying within our email for each user, as well as we can look at the messaging to make sure that it's appealing to them. Do denote that email clients may show the actual email content different because email clients sometimes are very old and they don't support all the latest modern browser elements and standards. If we are happy with the way that our email looks, then we are ready to send out these notifications. So that's where we then click on the send button. And then those emails are being sent out. And all is good, view the results to make sure we can see how many emails were successfully sent out. We can send this email multiple times, such as you may want to send it every 24 hours, once a day or once a week. And then each time you resend it out again, the product lists in the email messages will dynamically update, and also the amount of users may also change as well, because users may remove products from their favorites lists, or they may add products to their favorite list, as well as subscribe or unsubscribe to the marketing category that controls whether or not they want to receive these notifications. How many recipients received emails through the history. And so if you're sending this out once every day for the entire year, you may go back 365 days of this same Emedia email being sent out. Now, if it's all correct, recipients should receive the emails where they can then open it up and view the contents. Now, the next steps for the user, you may want to put in links to tell them to log into your website. So they must be logged in order to then add these products back to their basket. And then they most likely, after they're logged in, they're going to want to go back to the favorites page where they can find all these products and pick and choose which products they want to add to their basket. So having links in the email may make that job easier for them. Or you could create a separate login page specifically for this workflow that once they're logged in, then it automatically takes them to the favorites page, and then they can add the relevant products from there. Now, the last aspect to this is to provide the automation so an administrator doesn't have to keep clicking on the send button to send out these back in stock alerts every single day or once a week or once a month. So to do that, we have added to the connector software the ability to automatically trigger emails getting sent out on a scheduled basis. Now, to do that, we'd need to set up a generic adapter. And if we go into the settings of a generic adapter, under the data routine tabs, there is a new routine here called TOTECS platform send marketing Emedia emails. So if we create that routine and give it a name, I've called my routine send product back in stock email alerts. We've got a few settings here that we have available. The main one is that we need to get the ID of the Emedia email that we set up in TOTECS. So each Emedia email has its own unique ID. So the one that I set up here has an ID of 86. So in the connector, I have to put that number, 86 there. We can also have this routine send out a report advising if the routine ran successfully or not and how many emails that were successfully sent out. So if you want to receive a report automatically, then this would be to set up some details here. So if that is the case, we may put some examples here, such as this email report is going to come from salesexample.com. It's going to go to the sales manager at example.com as well as salesexample.com email accounts. So we would want to type in true if we want to send out that report. We could also have it so that this only sends out the test email to a specified email address if we only want this routine to check that the emails are getting generated. But if we want to send the email to the full list of recipients, then this needs to be set to false. And the test email address will then be ignored. But if this is set to true, it's only going to send that email out to the test email account that we have specified here. So typically you'd only want to do that if you're constantly testing and you want to automate that testing. Otherwise you'd leave this set to false to send it out to the full list of users. There are some settings here that if the routine cannot connect to the TOTECS platform within a certain amount of time and authenticate, in this case after 20 seconds it will give up. There's also another timeout setting here to determine how long should the connector wait before receiving response, or whether or not the emails successfully got delivered or all successfully processed. Now by default it's set to 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes, but that may be too short if you're sending emails out to 10,000 users or 1,000 users. So you may need to adjust this setting to be, instead of 10 minutes, it may be 20 minutes. The TOTECS platform may be faster or slower to send out certain emails because it has to do lookups, DNS lookups in the background in order to allow those emails to get sent. So that is something to be aware of as well. So with all those settings configured, then within our adapter, we need to make sure our TOTECS system settings have been all configured. So if you're using a connector to import data into TOTECS, that most likely will be already the case. So you have to fill out each of those fields. If you're unsure of that, talk to the TOTECS service team how to best set them up. You will also have to set out the email settings to allow the connector to send out the reports as well. Talk to your IT team about what is the best outgoing email settings for your own computer network that the connector is running in to be able to send out emails from the connector. Once the TOTECS settings and the email settings have been configured, if you're going to use it for emails, save those settings. Then the last thing to do is to run that we named the send product back in stock email alerts. And this is where we can choose whether or not how often we want these email alerts to be sent out. So if we want it to be sent out once a day, then we'll set the frequency to 1, and then we'll choose the date where we want the first alert to be sent and every other alert to be sent on the same time. So if we're sending this out once a week, then we'll change that value to 7. And if we wanted to send this out on a particular time of the day, 9 o'clock is the best time because that's when everyone's fresh. So then we'll change the time to 9 o'clock. A second optional email report that we can have to see whether or not this routine just ran at all, but typically you're not going to need to know that. So then we click that add. That routine now gets added to the scheduler. We can see when the routine is going to next run. In effect, what it's going to do is log into the TOTECS platform. It's going to, in effect, click on the send button, and all the users that are dynamically calculated for this Emedia will then be sent out. And that's the key here, is that the users available to receive these alerts will be dynamically generated, as well as the products that display within those emails will be also dynamically generated. What I mean by that is that it's not a fixed list of products and not a fixed list of users. That can change depending on the stock available data that's set for the products, and as well as based on the users that want to receive these alerts and that are subscribed to see them. So once we've set up our scheduler, click the reload scheduler. We can then choose to run this once off as well if we want to trigger it right now, or wait till the scheduler meets the date that has been set and then it will run. So if we click the run once off button to check that it works, once it's completed, we'll be able to see in the history log to see if that particular routine successfully ran. And also within the logs of the connector, it will also tell you within the detail how many of the emails that TOTECS was able to successfully send out. So in this case, it was able to successfully send out one of the emails that are subscribed to the Emedia email. And we can view the results back within TOTECS to confirm that it did send out the Emedia emails at the time that that was scheduled or set within the connector. So that gives you a full end-to-end example of how users can add products to their favorite lists. They can elect to receive back in stocks alerts using the e-marketing features of the TOTECS platform. An Emedia email can be set up to specifically target users and display a list of products that each of those users have in their favorites lists that they want to receive back in stock notifications for when the products come back into stock and their stock available since date is updated. When those emails get sent out, either by an administrator user or automatically by the connector software that are scheduled to send out those alerts on a regular basis, such as once a day, once a week, once a month, once a year, or 5 days a week. Users can then receive an email where they can see the products that are now back in stock, where they can be then taken back to the login page for the user to log in, and then navigate back to their favorites list where they can then add those products back to basket, check out and order the products that they've been waiting to order. That should hopefully lead to increased sales because more people are getting the products that they are actively watching and looking for. Click on the video links to view the next features that were added to this release.